What's going on, guys? Welcome to JT's Mixtape, episode number 24. And if you guys are enjoying this podcast, please give me a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button.
Come closer, my child.
I've got a new sponsor for JT's Mixtape. It's Modern Roots Life. And so they sell all kinds of natural health supplements. And it's really cool because it's a Christian brother in this community. And they provide like from detox things to beef tallow, beef liver pills, natural salt, really cool stuff. And so people often ask, how can I support JT? And if you want to support JT, you can support me by supporting the sponsor of the show. And you can gain something else by potentially getting more healthy, because I started with them recently and I already think it's making a difference. So if you guys really want to get healthy and support this podcast, please support the sponsor, Modern Roots Life.
Dude, that's so official, bro. It's like an official show now. I feel like, wow.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I mentioned it yesterday and I said, it really feels like this is a professional podcast. And I know probably a lot of people already thought that it was.
They thought there's a sponsor going on.
Can you believe
here.
anybody wants to sponsor JT's Mixtape? It is
awesome.
funny. I mean, I'm sure people do, but it is funny to think about like the stuff we talk about. It's like you can imagine like these corporate guys saying, "What did he just say? What did he say? Did he talk about P. Diddy? Is he talking about Israel? No, don't."
cut it.
Oh gosh. With that being said, let's show some videos though. You ready to see some videos, Brian?
Absolutely.
This is the most demonic thing I have ever seen taken place at any sporting event in my entire life. What you're looking at is a demon being summoned in the crowd on top of a satanic pentagram, and there's even demonic chants on the banners below the crowd. What you're looking at is a home game of FC Kaiserslautern, also known as FCK, and they're doing a pregame ritual. And what you're going to see here is that people are holding up signs, and it creates a satanic pentagram. And as time goes on, you can see the person shifting the camera. On the other side, I believe those words say invincible forever. But then slowly there's a demon that's going to arise. Now, if you look at the bottom, the banners here, they say words in Latin. And if we translate them, let's see what it says. Exaudi nos Lucifer et surge ex abyss sume nimas nostra. Oh my gosh, this says, "Hear us, O Lucifer, and rise from the abyss, take our souls." What the heck? Now they actually say something else as Lucifer is slowly spawning from the crowd. It says, "Ad lucem nos Lucifer et surge ex abysso sume animas nostras." Jesus, forgive me for even saying this, but it says, "To light us, O star, and arise from the abyss, take our souls." What the heck? I mean, I don't care if their mascot is like a devil or something, whatever the heck it is. This is the weirdest thing I have ever seen. There's got to be some evil energy going on in this game.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's definitely a demonic spell. They just freaking chanted some demonic spell. I'm surprised he was like reading it like that too. I would have just like maybe read the translation. Felt uncomfortable his reading the spell off. It's interesting because it arises from the abyss. Like if he's in the abyss, wouldn't that mean like after the little season or something? I'm just saying. I don't know.
I believed for a while that Lucifer is Apollyon, Apollo. And so I would say that Lucifer was not the devil. That's always been my conclusion. And I know that's unique to this perspective because I believe that the devil gets cast down from heaven and then he's the one who's given the keys and he lets the beast, the king of the bottomless pit out. So obviously before Revelation 9, the devil was in heaven. His angels and the archangel Michael and the angels were fighting. He gets cast down. He lets out the beast because it says the dragon gives his authority over to the beast. So that's interesting. It's my belief that that entity that was released way back when, because we believe that we're in the little season, I believe that being was likely thrown into like a fire. Like Apollyon, I don't think Apollyon's there anymore. But the devil has come out of the abyss because he was locked up
in chains.
He was locked up after Jesus returned, and then there was an angel was given a chain through the devil, bound him, and put him in the bottomless pit, and then he was released for a little season. With that being said, I try not to get so dogmatic about like the names, because if people say Lucifer, I know they mean the devil. Whether that's actually his name, it's not, but whether it's actually his name. So that being said, that's a long way to say that was demonic. That was so satanic. Like, what are people thinking when they are participating in that? Because I know that people think this is fun, this is a little bit taboo, and it's like that's what makes it cool. But yeah, you're reading, often, I know Brian's not, this is nothing new to him. Them reading off spells in Latin is kind of typically how spells are read. Are they not?
Oh yeah. And well, they've got multiple languages, but yeah.
Well, I mean, let's just say in the movies. In the movies,
Yeah.
a lot of times they use Latin. But yeah, like knowing, again, we talk about like, so the pentagram in itself is like, so what is the pentagram? Well, it's a geometric shape, but what it's used as in here, clearly,
star.
It's a sigil. It's a sigil to summon a demon, summon a fallen angel. That's what they're showing you. And they are using this Latin phrase to tell what they believe to be the devil to rise out of hell and take their souls.
Bro, oh my gosh, man. People don't understand. The ignorance is not always bliss. And it says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Like, I pray for every one of those people at that game right now, Lord God. In the name of Jesus, I pray forgiveness, for they know not what they do, Lord. I speak health and wholeness over their lives, Lord. Give them grace, Father. Give them mercy. For anybody participating in there, it's mind-boggling that there's that many people that are so non-Christian and naive that they could even put on an event like that at a public game and not be like, dude, if I was in that school, I would be like, heck no. I'd be like, I'm not. I absolutely am against this. Like, I'm surprised there isn't more people that would be like, absolutely not. Like, enough to just be like, no freaking way are we going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, how degenerate has our society gone to the point where they can do a straight up demonic conjuring satanic sigil offering, like, in front of everybody, and they think it's a funny joke. They don't even know that that's real. They have no clue that that's a spell. And they think it's a joke. They think it's, oh, how cool is this? Like, bro, how many of those people in that audience is whose spirit is so dead they can't even feel their spirit? Bro, just reading that poem, just reading it, you could feel in your spirit something was off. Okay, you could feel it just by him reading it. That feeling when he read it, that irking feeling you got, that is the spell. That's the effect of it. Okay, it's your spirit is sensitive to this stuff. Like, that's literally what was happening. So, like, I mean, the fact that there's this many spiritually dead people in our society at this point is pretty alarming. Pretty dang alarming.
Yeah, 100%. I know that. I think that's why they probably put this kind of stuff in the movies and make it really goofy or fun and scary, but not like demonically scary. But even in the movies, they show you oftentimes where people don't understand that they are doing some incantation or spell because they think they're just repeating some phrase and they don't really know. And so, like, in these movies, what happens? Like, they summon it. Like, even think about the movie Beetlejuice, right? You have to say his name 3 times and then this spirit comes out and then he won't leave. That's what they are doing there. And yeah, like, talk about like putting curses on yourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I mean, really, Good grief. Like that is just, yeah, where I was trying to look that up. I'll have to do some more digging to find out exactly where that was. But I mean, the way I seemed, it was like a big soccer stadium. So I guess it might have been some soccer stadium in Europe, I'm thinking. I don't know. It's just like that has our culture become so degenerate that there's not at least people who have a Christian upbringing that would say, "No, I'm not holding up a pentagram. No, I'm here to watch a soccer game, a football game, as they might say it overseas. But I'm not here to do that. No, I don't feel comfortable doing that."
Bro, if I was there, I would like rip that thing down while it was going up.
Well, I mean, we'll put it this way: like
they started raising that above me.
I'm not going to be in a stadium where people are chanting that.
That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't even be there.
I would be like,
I happened to be weird unconsciously situation be there.
What's that red little card you're holding? Oh yeah, we're supposed to hold this up, and it's like, oh yeah, what's the symbol? You guys are going to do the wave? No, we're not doing the wave. It's a star. It's a star pattern, and you're supposed to read this. What does that mean? Gosh, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like if you had caught any kind of wind of like what that was. Oh gosh, that's so dark. I mean, that's just
oh my gosh. Yeah.
It really is. It's just like, yeah, you're right. That was a great verse for that. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Because if you don't know that you're cursing yourselves, I mean, like, what is the result of this? The truth is, we don't really know. But that's when the thing when you're messing around with witchcraft, we really don't know what could happen. We don't know what kind of authority you give to demons and unclean spirits and all the things that are in there. And it's like, yeah, that I always think about that. I bring this up so often. The meme of the vampire. So the vampire comes up to your door, knocks on the door and says, "Hello. Well, aren't you going to invite me in? I can't come in unless I'm invited." And obviously nobody knows he's a vampire. They're just like, "Oh, well, sure, you can come right in." And then when he comes in, then he reveals who he is. And then he says, "I'm not leaving because I was invited in here." I think that's what that is.
Bro.
Is because in the movies, the vampire tricks people to invite him into their house. And so these people, thousands of people, I mean, there's probably 50,000 people in that place at least. And if they're all chanting that, what is the result of that after that?
I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, like, this is kind of going to get spiritual, but I'll tell you how some of this stuff works when you're at that exactly what you're asking that question. I'll give you an example with smoking. Okay. There's a lot of people that can smoke cigarettes till they're 100 years old and they don't die. Right. And then there's people that smoke cigarettes till they're like 20 and they get like lung cancer. Right. And die. Like, what's the difference between the 110-year-olds still smoking cigarettes and doesn't die, and the people that are dying at 30 from lung cancer or whatever, you know? Like, what's the difference? Like, we look at the situation, and I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't have to do with health. It has to do with conviction. Okay? The person that's 110 was never convicted in their heart that they are smoking cigarettes is going to kill them and poison them. They were never truly convicted. And maybe their parents never told them not to. Maybe they were never told not to. And so the conviction was never there. So the poison and the effect of it, God's grace covered it. And so God's grace, for whatever reason, allowed that person to live their life, cursing themselves, but unbeknownst in some regard. But when you know better and you continue and you do something, then there's a curse that is liable to fall on you. That's why they say, like, the vampire has to be invited in. You have to knowingly grant it permission when you know better in some regard. So it's like this. It's the reason why they put those on cigarette packs. They put those ugly, gnarly images in other countries on the cigarette packs of like the cancerous lungs and everything. They're trying to curse you. They're letting you know this is what's in store for you when you smoke this cigarette, when you burn this offering into this demon. This is what's in store for you. Like, and so, you know, you would think like, oh, if it's really the devil trying to put these things out, why does he put the nasty images on the cigarette packs in other countries? Do you know what I'm talking about, JT? The nasty images they put on them? Like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Well, he's doing it because he wants you to come into agreement. The devil wants you to be in agreement with the curse. So those people in that audience that did that, there's people that will be totally fine and protected by the Lord because of their ignorance and unaware of what was going on. But there is a large majority of people in that audience that are going to be, that have just evoked something very demonic in their life and they don't even realize it because of their own personal conviction. They knew they shouldn't do it. They knew something was wrong. They knew it wasn't right. They knew they shouldn't have chanted it. And because they knew better and they spoke it, and because they knew better and they said it, that's when you've evoked the spirit, because you have now gone against your conviction. You have now sinned. That's called the sin that's written on your heart, where Jesus says, I will write my laws upon their heart, right? That's your personal conviction that he's talking about. These people have now gone against their personal conviction, and without the grace of Christ to cover them and ask for forgiveness, or ignorantly continue about their life with something that they've done, just like smoking cigarettes when you knew you weren't supposed to, when your mom told you not to, when everybody told you, and the cigarette pack told you you're going to get lung cancer, you continue to do it. That conviction opens a doorway for something demonic to affect your life. That's literally the difference. It really comes down to personal conviction. I know that sounds kind of like woo-woo and weird, but like I see it all the time in deliverance, and it's so apparent. It's so apparent.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Actually, I was going to ask you that, but yeah, it makes sense that so the people who knowingly or knew they should not have been doing that are probably the people who are going to be affected more so than the people who have no idea what they were doing at all.
Yeah.
I think that I think that people who have no idea could still be affected.
Oh, they still can be totally there. And the thing is, the point is, there is nobody, it is without excuse to say that they had no idea what they're doing. They know. That is unreasonable to assume that they don't know what they're doing, because the reality is, even if they had the subtlest conviction in their heart, that was the Holy Spirit saying, don't do this. And they neglected the Holy Spirit in that moment. Okay. And so it doesn't take the Bible to tell you that stealing is wrong. Okay. It doesn't take the Bible, like the Holy Spirit convicts you in your heart. Jesus said, I will write my laws upon their heart. It doesn't take the Bible to tell you that yelling at your child or screaming at your spouse is not good. It doesn't take that. It takes your heart recognizing what is right or wrong. Right. And so in the same sense, like they knew better, regardless of whether they think that they were there. There may be some people that the Lord has grace on. In your ignorance, God has grace for a lot of people. And it's surprising how much grace the Lord has in your ignorance. But when you know better, there's like a difference.
Man, you're right. I mean, it's kind of like that. There's a lot of goofy things we've done, and you could say, looking back, I mean, of course, with the eyes we have now, we could say that was really stupid. But I had no idea of what we were doing. But when you have that devil pop up,
the devil,
nobody's going to say that looked innocent. And then the phrase you're speaking out that like literally gives this demonic entity access to your soul. I mean, can you imagine like the parent who's with their kid and their kid is making that phrase, chanting that thing.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if you're an adult and you're not like, I mean, this is weird. Like, I don't want my kids saying that. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of like that. You really almost have to be given over to a completely debased mind to think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you'd have to be. That's what I would say. I would say that a lot of those people have to be completely given over to demonic influence, because like, how could that not irk you as a normal person, as any average normal person? I feel like most average people, I would think, would be like, something's not right. And they did it anyways. And that's what's concerning. Because you knew you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's like that meme of the dog in the house on fire, drinking the coffee. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is fine. That's what it is. It's like, you participating in this. Yeah, this is not weird at all. This is fine. This is fine. This is a normal for sporting events. I mean, maybe it's progressively getting more normal, but no, that is messed up. That is messed up. Let's go to another video.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about Michael Jackson recently, and I want to bring back an oldie but a goodie from my buddy Max Powers, who was on the podcast, talking about Michael Jackson.
Obviously a ton of conspiracies about Michael Jackson. But in my opinion, one of the most interesting ones, if not a little ridiculous, is that this is what he actually looked like. Hear me out. On January 27, 1984, Michael Jackson was shooting a Pepsi commercial at LA's Shrine Auditorium. Everything was going great until the sixth take when the pyrotechnics malfunctioned, causing his head to be engulfed by a fireball on camera in front of 3,000 fans. Now, he likely couldn't feel it at first, but as he made his way down the stairs onto the stage, it didn't take long for the stagehands to realize he was on fire. Aaron Fay, his hair and makeup artist at the time, said, quote, "This was someone I knew and he was on fire. By the time I got to him, all of his hair was gone and there was smoke coming out of his head." According to the hospital, Michael suffered second and third degree burns across his head and face. In 1992, the music video director that was filming his tour, Rudy Dolezal, was told that Jackson refused to appear on camera on days that he wasn't performing because on those days he didn't have a nose. Rudy went on to tell the New York Post that Jackson needed a prosthetic nose that took hours to put on using makeup and putty. In 2002, rumors were running rampant in the tabloids that what was left of Jackson's nose cartilage had completely collapsed. So what's the conspiracy, man? I couldn't figure out what it was used for, but there is footage of Michael Jackson being made up to look like an old man using makeup and prosthetics, and it's very convincing. Then there's also this Akon interview where Akon describes going to the movies with Michael Jackson and being shocked when he got there and a complete stranger walked up to him and started talking in Michael's voice because it was Michael, but he was absolutely unrecognizable. The theory being that nobody really knew what Michael Jackson looked like anymore because the Michael Jackson that was famous was just a mask. Now this is a real man named Dave. A victim of horrible burns when he was young, and Michael Jackson just kind of took an interest in him and took care of him. So at first when I was reading about this, I was like, okay, case closed, that's a different guy. But the theory points out that Dave suddenly became a lot more public and his appearance kind of changed after Michael Jackson's death, insinuating that Jackson didn't pass away in 2009, but instead resumed living under various assumed identities, easily fooling the world because nobody had really known what he looked like since the 80s.
Have you ever heard that conspiracy?
I heard that the Dave was Michael Jackson in a mask, like, and he was dressing up as Dave too. I heard some conspiracy like that, originally.
You know, so again, I'm probably about 10 years older than Brian, so I remember when Michael Jackson was black. So that's how old I am. So, but the point being is, like, I remember, like, as I grew up, though, everyone was talking about, like, his horrible plastic surgery. This makes a lot more sense why he got so much horrible plastic surgery and why his nose was really not a nose anymore by the end, because it wasn't. It's not on purpose. It's because, like, literally his face got burnt off.
That's crazy.
Like, that's why he looked the way he did at the end. That's a really, really messed up story, but it's like, yeah, that's I guess it's funny, like, when I was a kid, and of course, I mean, this is not like today with social media. I mean, I do remember hearing the story that Michael Jackson caught on fire. But I guess, I mean, he was fine afterwards, I guess. But I mean, you really think about it, they said he had second and third degree burns on his face and head.
And no hair.
That's pretty bad. So, of course,
that's really bad.
Of course, there's a lot of people who believe that a lot of celebrities who have died have not really died, but they just assume different identities. Now, I don't subscribe to all those, and I'm sure you guys know some accounts that promote that idea. But this would make more sense to me that possibly he could go underground looking like having a whole different face, which is not like pretending to be somebody who's famous, but also just trying to remain anonymous. I guess the real question, why would he do that? And then go on Larry King.
I don't know. That seems pretty suspicious. I mean, Michael Jackson's death altogether is very suspicious, you know? I mean, like, you can look up the autopsy report and see that little red mark on his chest. You can see him. And I've read the police report, and the police report literally says blackmail, and it says blah blah blah, height this or whatever, and then it says noticeable red mark in the center of chest on the police report. And it's like, and you see the image of him on the gurney with the big red mark in the center, and you're like, what is that? That doesn't look normal or at all. That looks like a heart attack gun shot at him and burst some blood vessels. And there's a gun with some technology that the CIA has reported creating, which used shellfish toxin poison, which will leave a noticeable red area from where you're shot with it as well. So,
well, it's weird. I mean, I remember we talked about that a couple of podcasts ago, about talking about that. I think it's just really unusual that the fact that Michael Jackson's death was ruled a homicide seems like largely like the population just kind of went,
okay, yeah,
fine, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I guess I mean, I feel like it's similar again, like to Prince's death, and it was like these guys were kind of older and they were not quite in the public anymore, and it just feels like, well, that's weird that they just died, but everyone just said, I guess this is normal. I don't think that it is. I think it's just the way that maybe I don't know. The whole thing is bizarre. I mean, I think that I could buy it a little bit, maybe. It is weird. It is weird that he liked to dress up like other people, but maybe it's not weird because he was wearing a mask all the time. Anyways.
Well, he was trying to be he wanted to be a kid, and obviously he wanted to get away from the eye all the time. He didn't like being in the spotlight. Dude, we need to just do like a whole episode on Michael Jackson, honestly. We just need to do break down all the details, because that's a pretty complicated individual there. And I feel like I think personally he was set up, and I think he was going to expose some of the pedo party stuff, and I think that's why they decided to off him. That's my personal opinion. But I do know that there are some people that they supposed, like, certain celebrities have disappeared under the radar. What's that little mustache man? Apparently he slipped under the radar.
Oh, and there's some videos. We'll have to maybe dig that up for next week. I mean, obviously this is not a new theory. Is that bad guy Adolf from Germany did not actually off himself, and he went to Argentina.
No, Argentina released papers saying that he did.
Bro, this is not new. This is not new.
Yeah.
This is like there were shows about finding him. So I think that's the way that social media works now. Is like some of this news is not actually brand new. It's like there's documents, and this is what that show Finding the H-Man was about.
H-Man.
the CIA, they had these documents where they were like looking for him. I mean, that's not a conspiracy theory. I mean, honestly, the only really reason why people thought that he died was because the Russians said he did. But then they gave some body out. They showed some body that was not him. And then supposedly they had some kind of bone record of him, but it was in Russia. Those people are liars. Those commies.
One was a female.
The commies. The commies don't tell the truth. So it's not reliable, and it is really interesting that area of Argentina is very it's very German. It's very German. There's a lot of twins there too, wasn't it? Who was the Joseph Mengele? Wasn't he the doctor who had worked with all the kind of experiments and twins and everything?
Mm-hmm.
There is a movie about that. I forgot what that's called. It's like The Boys of Brazil or something.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. That was probably a little rabbit trail, and that's probably not everyone knows what we're talking about. But yeah, like we'll have to get into that maybe on next week. But I got some. Let's share some different videos. Let's just go to some weird stuff. This might be kind of on the level of like witchcraft, like we were talking about earlier.
On Wednesday evening, the Israeli and Ukrainian presidents gathered for an official ceremony for the unveiling of a new interactive memorial, Crystal Wall of Crying, by world-renowned performance artist Marina Abramovic. The wall is meant to be a symbolic extension of the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem and incorporates crystals from the Ukraine and Brazil in an interactive installation. The 40-meter-long structure now stands in a park built over the site of the Babin Yar ravine.
It's a really wall for healing, and it's wall to remember, and it's wall to public to actually interact all the time. It's not something, I don't like monuments that you have the huge monument and you stand in the front and you look to the monument. It's just like you're voyeur. Here, you have to touch, you have to interact, you have to turn, and you have to, confront yourself with yourself and your own memory. So it's a very different way of seeing art and seeing the monuments.
At the ceremony, both Israeli and Ukrainian presidents also warned against repeating the mistakes of the past and cautioned against a new surge of anti-Semitism.
בל נטעה, גם בימים האלה הכחשת שואה עדיין קיימת, האנטישמיות עדיין קיימת.
Bro, what?
Bro. What'd she say? Marina Abramovic. No, it's Abramovich, because she's Abramovich. Abrahamic witch. That's her name. Abrama is Abraham. Abrahamic witch means she's a J people occultist. Okay, that's what she's from.
Is she a Kabbalistic witch?
Yeah, she's a Kabbalist. That's her freaking generational name. Like, it's probably not really her name. Who knows? Like,
yeah. What? But I mean, so that was in Tel Aviv, in Israel.
Was it?
I mean, that's what it said at the bottom, but it obviously said it was some kind of extension of the Wailing Wall.
Yeah, bro. The crystals, like, I wonder if those are real crystals. Those are some fat crystals.
The thing that where my mind went when I was watching that, because they were saying it's an extension of the Wailing Wall. And so if you guys are not familiar with the Wailing Wall that's the one that all the presidents who have to go to Israel to kiss the ring, they have to put on the little hat and they go touch the wall and they say some gesture into it. And so what the Wailing Wall supposedly is supposed to be is the last remnants of the Second Temple. It's not, though, because we know that every stone was thrown down just like Jesus said. But the interesting part about it is, so most people would say that what Marina Abramovic says that this is a different kind of monument that you interact with. And so most people wouldn't it wouldn't take much to move them to say that's witchcraft what they're doing. They're, again, almost like the same way they were showing that stadium, they're incanting spells on each other, that you doing whatever with these crystals in this black wall is something invoking some kind of witchcraft. But it made me think that the Wailing Wall thing is witchcraft too, because like, what is this? It's like, talk about some idolatry. Just everyone's got to go there, and it's like they're praying to the wall. That's not godly.
No.
We even seen Trump wear the little hat as he goes up to the wall, and no, that's like that. What? I mean, it's all the same spirit, right? Am I wrong about that? It's all the same spirit.
Same thing. Highest levels of witchcraft is the Kabbalistic J order, we'll say. Okay, that's the highest order of witchcraft. Okay, guys, if you don't know, like, go talk to some witches and ask them what that little Star of David is. And go ask a witch, what do you use the Star of David for? And they'll tell you what they use it for. That is a conjuring sigil. It's one of the highest conjuring sigils for evoking demons. The Star of David. That ain't the Star of David, yo. That is not what you think it is. That is a bullcrap lie. So yeah, that's disturbing. Like,
that is disturbing, but I mean, like, that woman, I remember I did a video about it on TikTok and everything. I think that might have got me in trouble on TikTok. But was it Zelensky appointed her some kind of like child director of something?
Yes,
child
for
art
the
director?
Ukraine. Yeah, the Ukraine. Yeah. She was like recorded over Ukraine as a ambassador for Ukraine. That's what it was.
It had involved children in like art or something.
Oh yeah, she's the ambassador for the United States Art Commission, put in place by Hillary Clinton. So she actually determines. It's called Art and Embassy. She's actually one of the head department chairs that determines what artwork goes inside of every one of our embassies around the world. Did you know that? That witch, that woman who is literally a satanic priestess witch, just look up her art, guys. For those of you who don't know, type in Marina Abramovic blood art. Type that in to Google.
Just trust Brian. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. Yeah,
It's disturbing.
remember back in the day, Good Fight did a breakdown of some of the stuff she was doing, and she was doing that spirit cooking, and I think a lot of people heard about that during like the Podesta email leak and the WikiLeaks stuff, and she was doing this incantation with like these effigies of these children. She's like splashing blood on them and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it is dark, dark stuff.
It's so
and
dark.
even like there's all the celebrities like pretending like they're the simulated cannibalism and stuff like that. And you see, I remember being like, when you would see like who she's rubbing shoulders with, it's unfortunate when you're like in the process of an awakening of like Will Ferrell. No, but I like he's so funny. It's like why is he there? And it's like there's so many of them where, that's when people start to say, which ones are not in the club? They're all in the club, all of them. We have to say it's like it's all of them. Actually, it's funny. My buddy, one of my buddies I went to high school with, we've been texting recently, and it took him a little longer for me to get him woken up, but not saying I did it, but at the beginning he thought I was a bit crazy, and he was watching that 5-hour video from that guy who was, what did he win? It was some kind of like
oh yeah, I know you're talking about
he won
American Idol kind of thing.
Yeah, it was some kind of American Idol. So it was like in Australia, and he did some kind of 5-hour video breaking down Freemasonry, and you see just about every famous person you've ever seen doing all the hand signs and all the things. It's almost like when you see how many of them are participating in this stuff, part of your brain says it's so many that this can't be true. You know what I'm saying? Like it's overwhelming. I remember there was a channel that I used to follow on YouTube, and after a while I would be ready to throw up because they would be showing like the montages of all the celebrities covering their eye and doing the shush and everything. Yeah, it's like almost like your brain says it can't be real because it's too many of them. You ever feel I felt like that? Because it's just like it's like overload because I mean, and maybe it is that kind of like realization of the darkness is like it can't be all of them, but
it's
one
all
day,
of them.
But yeah, it's all of them. It's all of them.
You know it's so shocking. There's I always refer people to this guy Mouthy Buddha on BitChute. If you really want to know, guys, if you want to know, go to Google Mouthy Buddha on BitChute. Or secondarily, I've got on my page, if you go onto my Instagram, I have these ones that say warning, and it's got Abramovic, and it's got this one. These two that have a warning on them. Those two videos. Watch those two videos if you really want to know what's going on with our government and the people in control. It will open your eyes, in a very disturbing reality will be presented before you, and you'll know that the world is ran by Satan.
Yeah, Satanic Pizza Files. Speaking of that, let's check out this advertisement for this energy drink that Brian shared with me.
Not a sponsor.
Give it a try.
No.
Now I want an honest review.
Actually rather yummy. Who are you? Why are we tied up?
Ignore him. Eternal Life Elixir is the only...
Please, I have a family.
Silence, pig. Eternal Life Elixir. The only energy drink with billions of gut-healthy probiotics, simple ingredients, and none of that junk that you can't pronounce. Put your X.
You want the deed to my house?
Just try Eternal Life Elixir today. And if anyone asks, we're definitely not a cult. We're an energy drink.
Bro, like that's real, I guess.
Yeah, that's real.
It's not that's not an SNL thing. I remember when I got in trouble for the Action Cats.
Yeah.
I almost did think that was a real 80s deal. But like that's not SNL, like that's real. I mean, even though SNL just did that really distasteful thing with Lady Gaga where a lot of people are saying that Morgan Whalen, he walked off the set, and I think a lot of people have inferred that he walked off the set because that SNL did this completely unfunny, satanic, ritualistic Skit, you didn't see that, Brian?
Mm-mm.
You're gonna
I
have to
know
look
somebody.
that up.
I didn't know somebody walked off. I saw what the Lady Gaga, the satanic demon thing. I saw clips of it, but I didn't know somebody walked off set.
Well, Morgan Whalen was the musical act that night, and I think they said at one point he mentioned that he left, and he said he needed to get back to God's country.
Huh? That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah,
That's good. See, that's how you're supposed to do it, people. When you feel the conviction, you walk away. You stand up and you end it.
but that's very similar to that, where like they're like leaning in to like this is really dark and weird, and it's like it just like does that really sell right now? I mean, I guess they sell that stuff Liquid Death.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, the liquid
Yeah,
death
so it's
things.
like the something like that. It's like somebody could say, "Ooh, this is amazing. You want to drink this? What's it called? Liquid Death." It's like, no, I don't want that. Like, because call me old fashioned. I don't want to drink things that look like they're poison.
Yeah,
because that's what they used to put on bottles of poison, like those kind of same images to say you shouldn't drink this. And so they make this energy drink. Whoa, like, yeah, what's up with that? Some guys, like two guys tied up. The old man doesn't want to be there. It's like the lady obviously looking like some kind of witch.
It's all occultic, man, and it all comes down to like your convictions again. Like you're drinking something called like liquid death too. Like what makes you think that doesn't have an effect on you? Oh, it's just water. It's just water. No, bro. There is a spiritual aspect to that. You're consuming this thing in your heart when you know what it's saying. There is a spiritual aspect, and so many people have become spiritually dull and unsensitive to recognizing this kind of stuff that's going on. But that's the same kind of thing, flashing the occultic imagery of the goat and Satan and all that stuff in there, and they think it's funny. Society thinks it's funny. Like, dude, who's promoting this stuff? Honestly, like that liquid death thing, I don't even know like how it got so popular, because I remember when it first came out and I was like, this is stupid. Like, and then like it just got more and more popular, and it was like being promoted everywhere. Like somebody was majorly funding that to get that water out there, just to get that curse spoken. Average person, I don't think is going to choose a jar of liquid death.
No, I mean, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's really weird. It does feel like that this is part of like the duper's delight. It's like they're trying to trick people into curses upon themselves, right? Like that. If they're showing you this in the commercial, would it surprise anyone if they're doing weird spells on the liquid that goes in the cans, on the cans themselves? Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of that story about how who was the we played it on the podcast a while back about how these guys were putting spells. Was it David Crosby was talking about that they're putting on every track they were putting out, they had like these coven witches putting spells on there, and they were sending them out. So then you see that it's like maybe people were more innocent back then. They didn't realize what the music was they were listening to. But then you see this commercial and you say, that's something I'd like to put in my body. And then so then you get what comes with that.
Spiritual consequences, guys. That's how it kind of rolls, man. If you know you're not supposed to do something, don't do it. Like that's the rule that Jesus gave us.
Yeah, speaking of spiritual consequences, check out this video with Nicki Minaj.
Greatest woman. You all right? Huh? You okay?
Is that real, or is that? I mean, I guess it's that I can't tell the difference anymore. It's like, was that supposed to be a joke, or is that her literally glitching out?
Bro, I don't even know. I think that was like something that actually happened. Like she was like responding to something, and that was just her response. like a question, I guess, on an interview. I think I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell anymore because it's kind of like the thing with Ariana Grande when she was talking about being going to some MK Ultra
See, that was a
thing.
joke.
Yeah, it was a joke, but I mean, like it's told in a way where is it funny because we believe it because we think it might not be a joke because these people are so messed up. But obviously, we've seen people like Katy Perry. We've seen so many of those people like where they are just like frozen. You know, like in interviews where it's like literally like it's like a clone and it just stopped working, and it's like it's dead still. But then you see that where it's like it could be drugs, could be demons, could be drugs and demons.
Probably drugs and demons.
Something.
And MK Ultra mind control programming that is like cracking and having a weird hiccup in whatever's going on in her brain.
Yeah, that is just whack, dude.
Yeah, definitely unusual. Like, I don't even know what to think of that.
Oh, here's an interesting video. This was kind of big news. It kind of broke a little bit last week. This video here.
The Daily Wire is in big trouble. Candace Owens, when she got kicked out, I reported a little bit on that and I got a few sources in there. And then when Brett Cooper started to get pushed out, I kind of got the scoop on like what was really going on there. And in my Instagram comments, I had ex-Daily Wire employees being like, hey, I'll tell you more. I hate the Daily Wire and I didn't take the money or sign the NDAs. And so it's like Daily Wire is like a f***ing colander. There is more holes in that ship than I've ever seen. Jeremy's having a public meltdown and it's not because of Israel. It's because of other things. Really? His dream was to be in LA and to make it in movies and to make it in film. The Daily Wire was his big break. Once he made it with the Daily Wire, he immediately tried to turn it into a Hollywood film studio. The difference between running a podcast and making a blockbuster movie is like the difference between farming on Earth and flying to Pluto to like terraform it. And so he's trying to do this multiple gigantic budget films that they don't have the money for and they never did. And having the Brett Cooper thing break in the middle of that was just icing on that cake.
Yeah, I heard the Daily Wire. I heard it's going bankrupt. Is that what the news was saying now too?
That's what people are saying, and I think I'm playing the world's smallest violin. I mean, let's be honest. Those people are, like Jeremy Boring, who's self-proclaimed God King. I mean, who doesn't like to see somebody like that fail? I mean, seriously, it's like the proud. I mean, like, talk about someone who needs to be humbled. Guys like Ben Shapiro. Oh man, Ben Shapiro. Actually, that's a really interesting one. I should probably insert this video here. But so Ben Shapiro, obviously, and Jeremy Boring, the co-founders of the Daily Wire. So famously, they pushed out Candace Owens last year from her controversial views about Israel. Right. She's obviously crushing it now. Whether you like her or don't, whether you think she's controlled opposition or not, you'd have to say she's not been hurt by this. She's only been elevated by leaving the Daily Wire. And so now you have like the place literally crumbling. I guess that Brett Cooper leaves. I'm not familiar with her at all. But yeah, like, I mean, it does seem like that Jeremy Boring, that guy was I'm trying to think the right Christian way to call him. Maybe I shouldn't call him a name. I was about to. But that guy was insufferable. And so, yeah, like he wanted to be Hollywood. And then Ben Shapiro just wants to, I don't know, shill for Israel all the time. So you can't say anything about, our greatest ally or like his part of his dual citizenship. And yeah, so like that's why that in the space even we're in, and of course what they're in, our currency is authenticity, truth. And then when you find out what they can't say and what you get fired for at those kind of places that are supposed to be all about that free speech, it's all about free speech until it's not, right? Until it's stuff like, well, you can't say that. Well, that's hateful. That's racist. That's this. It's that. It's so funny when you think about like the Daily Wire, because Ben Shapiro's famous phrase was, facts don't care about your feelings. except for when it's your feelings, right, Ben?
Yeah.
So like Ben's feelings matter a whole lot, don't they?
It's pretty funny.
It's embarrassing, but yeah, like so Ben Shapiro. Well, I'll play this clip right now.
Sort of conspiracy theorizing that's become incredibly popular on the right these days. It was popular on the left, and now it's become increasingly popular on the right. The kind of, let's just ask questions. We'll ask who really killed JFK? Wink, wink, nod, nod. And then you're like, well, do you have any evidence of the thing that you are presupposing? Well, no, I'm not making any accusations. I just know I don't believe the story that I'm being told. I know not to trust the authorities. Like, well, that's fine, but do you have like any evidence? Like evidence, not just supposition. I said, well, you're part of it, aren't you? You're part of it. The reason that you're so defensive about all this is, I don't care who killed JFK. I mean, I do, because it's really interesting. But I noticed that the calendar says 2025, and he was killed in 1963. And so my opinion about who killed JFK has about as much relevance as who killed William McKinley, or James Garfield, which is to say, not an enormous amount.
So Ben Shapiro says he doesn't care about who shot JFK. Did he just admit that Israel did it? Because why else wouldn't he care?
It's pretty obvious. I mean, with how much he cares about the H word, from his other clips. Have you seen it where he's always talking about like the?
Well, it's kind of like that. I don't care about this thing that happened a long time ago, but we're never going to forget this thing that happened a long time ago, whether you agree if it actually happened the way they said it did or not. But yeah, like it's funny, like you hypocrite munch.
Yeah.
Right. Like you don't care. Like you don't care who killed an American president. What? We should all care about that. Like how relevant is that? Because it's kind of like if you knew that.
It's kind of a linchpin, really. It's really the linchpin to a whole lot of trickle-down understandings. It really is. So it's fascinating that he doesn't care about it, because when you do know what it is really a very big linchpin. I mean, even it goes back a little bit further, back to Truman, the even bigger pin there. But you can start with that. And that opens your eyes to a whole lot of corruption that's been going on, hiding behind the scenes. The reason with all the secret handshakes, all the rings, all the weird perversions, all stems from that JFK thing. Well, pretty fascinating.
It's yes, I agree that. I mean, I think that was a pivotal point in the 20th century. What happened there? So I think that you can look at a couple really huge events in the 20th century. You have World War II, and then you have that. And that's changed the way the world looks. I mean, who knows if things had been different, like what things would look like today. I mean, we can only speculate. But him saying, I don't care, makes most people say like that. To me, it's like, my ears perk up like, he just admitted it, right? Because it's kind of like, thou dost protest too much. Oh, don't even look in those documents. You don't even want to know what it says. It's not important. We've moved on. It's only because it's like that if you're about the truth and free speech, we should never say, I don't care who killed JFK. It was like, oh, well, I do because it's super interesting, but it's more than interesting. I think that the thing that obviously people in this community think is the fact that it's been hidden from us for so long makes it more than interesting. It makes it even more important. Because if it didn't matter, they would have released it a long time ago. But it does matter. And it still matters. And it matters when you see probably like a bead of sweat coming down his brow as he's probably saying, I don't care about this. This is not that important. Bro, what? And this is why, but this is why the whole ship is going down at the Daily Wire, because you guys, those people don't care what's true. They don't care about free speech. You can obviously see they have an agenda. They are the woke right.
Yep.
They have a bar where they say you're an anti-Semitic, you're this, you're that. If you say these things, and so you fire a black woman because she's racist, right? Like that's what they did. about Candace Owens. And it's not because she was racist, it's because she was speaking out against a different country than ours.
Yeah. She's speaking truth, really.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with her. I guess the point is, like, even what is even this, what they said, why, the said reason for it. I don't even know if they even said, because they don't want to admit that. But obviously she's thriving because she's showing many, many videos, and she's doing lots of great investigative work about showing what's true. Whether, again, I know people in the community, I know she's a controlled opposition or whatever. The point is, she's saying a lot of true things. She's doing great on her own. And so, of course, I think that a lot of people look into the Daily Wire and say, Matt Walsh, what are you still doing there? Like,
yeah,
why
Matt Walsh needs to break away. He needs to break away for sure. I want to say one good thing about this whole Daily Wire thing. People be encouraged. Everyone should be encouraged that it's going down, because what that tells you right now is that we are stronger. We are stronger than they're letting us on to realize. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's more people unsubscribing from Daily Wire because they're realizing that there's a bunch of lies and bullcrap and made up stuff that's not true going on. Okay. And and people are realizing it enough to where they're unsubscribing and not supporting it. That's what's going on. That means you're powerful, guys. That means your choices and your perspective can change the world and the effects of things going on. Yeah, there's rich billionaires that even if you crash them like Disney, is still going to keep existing. But dude, bro, we're crashing Disney. Like, I don't know if there was April Fool's notice. I'm sure it's a joke, but they said something about Disney World closing some stuff. And it was just like, wow, I saw that and I was like, interesting. That's pretty powerful. Or like the Disney movie with the Snow White, totally flopped. Like the worst movie Disney has ever produced. And it was like something like the worst movie production ever. Like it cost so much money, and they lost more money than any movie ever has lost in ratio to how much it cost to make it. And so, like, bro, be encouraged, people. You are actually making a difference right now. You are making a difference by subscribing and watching other people that are not giving you these spoon-fed lies and paying attention to people like us talking the truth and stepping away and giving credence to Candace Owens. Dude, awesome, bro. Like, that is awesome. We're affecting the world. Like, we're taking these liars down. It's great.
I think it's funny that movie, the new Snow White, failed so badly. So that woman is trashing the originals. You know, we could trash the originals too, but we would do it for different reasons. But the funny thing is, like, the casting of those movies. So they got, was it Gal Gadot or whatever? Wonder Woman is the evil witch. And I forgot Snow White's name. She's not that fair. I guess it's the funny part is like that the evil witch is much prettier than Snow White in this. It's like, you guys don't understand like how you kind of got the casting wrong. The whole thing is like everything that Disney does. It's like it's almost does look like it's designed to fail. Well, I don't even, like I said, I don't even understand what they're doing from a business model.
They're spells. They're just trying to convince the world and cast us and influence us, but it's not working. That's the thing.
You know what? I got an interesting video to talk about that. It feels like that we live in a world where they try to dull everything down. They've tried to make everything stupid, right? That there was a world that we believe after potentially Christ's return, and then we have all these massive, epic, old world buildings and cathedrals. We have color. We have like those stained glass in those churches, and just you go in those cathedrals and it's like the colors are just exploding out. It's like everything looks so cool. And now everything's getting less. Do you notice that, Brian?
Yep.
This video, I felt like this video really resonated with me.
Are y'all seeing it now? Do y'all get it now? I have so many posts on this account talking about this same thing right here. Look at how vibrant the world used to be back then. Filled with personality. This goes for businesses, this goes for furniture. This pretty much applies to everything on the outside world. The society used to be different. And just so y'all can see that I'm not capping, look at what's parked in front of me. What color are these cars in front of me? Imagine showing up to the supermarket, showing up to your job, and this is how the parking lot looked like. Creativity is at an all-time low, and that's because the corporations got greedy. And it's all about consumerism. This is how parking lots look nowadays. Monotone. Lifeless. Wherever you show up, I don't care if it's at a supermarket, if you go to the DMV, Showing up to this parking lot, you don't think that you're gonna have a different sense? You're gonna feel more creative? It's the little things that we don't think about that's affecting our everyday routine. Things used to be about personality back then, individuality, uniqueness. Now everybody's trying to copy everybody. Everything's the same. They got us like robots out here. Get with the program so then you could get out of the program. It's really up to us at this point. And I wonder if there's ever gonna be a renaissance in art again.
What do you think about that, Brian? You think there's some kind of a sociological explanation why the color palette has been dulled? Everything's getting stupider. What is it even? I remember I saw this one, I don't know if it was a video about this, and it was talking about the amount of lyrics in songs. Like you go back like to the 60s and the 70s, like how many lyrics the songs had. And now it's like these repeated phrases in these songs. It's like the music is stupid. It just is. Everything is getting dumber now. And maybe that's why a guy like me, some people think that I might be a little bit smart. I feel like the guy from Idiocracy, that I've remained like just a normal dude. It's like, so I only seem more smart because the general public is just like so uninformed about things. Is that possible?
You know, it seems like maybe there is a little bit of that happening. I feel like they're definitely trying to dull down the world. I don't know. That movie just made me, that clip just made me want to like go out and spray paint my car like bright blue. So that way it's just like, you know, vibrant colors everywhere, and, you know, just add some more color into the world. Because it is kind of sad not seeing as much color. But I know that they were whitewashing everything, and they were doing that intentionally, right? And so they were trying to like make things dull. I think it does. I think it might have some kind of psychological effect on our perspective of reality when everything is dull around us.
You know what? I think inherently, I think that really made sense to me, because it's in the same way that when you wake up and the sun's out and you look up and there's this beautiful blue sky, you feel a certain way versus if you wake up and it's gray. You know, like there's certain things, like I remember, this might be not a great thing, but I know when it's sunny and 80 degrees outside, even when I know I should rest, I can't. Because I'm just like, you know, there's part of you is like, I have to go take advantage of this day. And it's like, you have this kind of like need to go do, versus when you have lots to do and it's like this gray, awful day and you're just like, I just want to stay in bed. You know, so like, what if they dulled everything down? What if they sprayed the sky and made it dull too? And everything else is just, there's something about this. Yeah. And the architecture too. Well, I said, I've mentioned this multiple times, that there was this really interesting documentary from the BBC a long time ago, and it was talking about the brutalist architecture, and it was talking about how it made people feel. And it was like, I could never really know why I thought a certain way, but like it made sense. And it made sense that when you see ugly things, people's behaviors become ugly. But when you see beautiful things, you aspire to more. And like you said, just imagine a neighborhood. Imagine if somebody gifted you like a beautiful house. You might want to take care of it more. Maybe if they just even think like a car, like a beautiful red sports car. You might wash it more than a gray beater, right? And so if you think about the place you lived, if you had a nice house, you would try to keep it up more. If it was going to be your forever house, versus some kind of like government housing that was all stacked on top of each other, and it was all water stained and it looks like a prison. So people act like and treat each other like they're in prison. Right? You know what I'm saying? So like, what if the car paint jobs is just, it's all more part of the process of like just dulling this place down, maybe to like lull us to sleep in a way.
Probably. I think that's definitely it. Probably there is probably some kind of an agenda on it. There's probably a psychological MK Ultra study they've done. Like, I wonder, or maybe it's just a telltale sign of the death of our society. Who knows? I'm gonna have to look up color theory in relation to MK Ultra.
You know, we'll do one more videos. And speaking of the death of society, I thought this video is kind of fitting. because this is a video I saw on TikTok years ago, and I think I've referenced it before, but it's really, really interesting.
Back in the 1930s, almost all of San Francisco's dead were moved to Colma. It's been illegal to bury dead bodies in San Francisco for over 120 years, and lots of families couldn't afford to have their gravestones moved down south. So the ones that were left behind were inherited by the Department of Public Works and used for infrastructure projects around the city. I'm going to see if I can find some, starting with Buena Vista Park. The gravestones were used to line the rain gutters all up and down the main path. Aha! Found one. Okay, let's see what I can read. D, probably for died on the 22nd, 18 something. Maybe they lived to be 52 years old. Oh my god, found another one. It's in memory of someone. The second, possibly a last name starting with ST. I'm gonna head to the Wave Organ next. It's a beautiful interactive water sculpture sponsored by the Exploratorium, and it's made with PVC pipe and stone from Laurel Hill Cemetery. I like how the pipes mirror the cylinders of the columns. Pretty cool shapes. Keep an eye out for gravestones in other parts of the city, especially along the shoreline.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, how messed up is that, bro? Like, that it's been illegal to bury people in the city of San Francisco for 100 years. You know, mindfully, the city of San Francisco is supposedly didn't have any people in it like until like 1850-ish. Right? So you couldn't bury people after 70 years of the city's existence.
Oh wow, I never thought of it that way.
It is so disrespectful to take people's headstones and mausoleums and turn it into a gutter.
A gutter. That is, yeah, of all the things that they could have used it for. Like, you know, a gutter. Like, really?
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, I think to me that they're trying to get rid of evidence.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like that to me too.
So they moved this graveyard that was in the middle of the city, which makes no sense because, like, why would you desecrate a graveyard when you could just build out? Is there not land outside of San Francisco? Could you not just build? You could just build around it. They had to get rid of this graveyard, which is kind of an interesting thing if you really think about it. So there's been a lot of people who've died before us. Isn't it kind of weird there's not more graveyards around? You ever thought about that? That's kind of a morbid thought, but there's no shortage of dead people. Like, people continue to die. And I know it gets more expensive these days to bury people, so more people get cremated, but it is sort of weird that there's not lots and lots and lots of graveyards.
It is kind of interesting.
But there's really not.
Yeah, because we just like build on top of them, or eventually we dig up the dead bodies and eat them, or something weird like that. It seems.
They serve them at Kentucky Fried Chicken, I guess now.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. Oh my gosh, that commercial! That is like so terrible.
But tell me, you know, like it would make sense to me that San Francisco was supposedly discovered in 1776 by the Spanish. Well, it just so happens that San Francisco is on older maps from the 1500s. Right? San Francisco, like multiple maps in between, S Francisco or San Francisco is right where it's at in California. Okay, so what if they lied to us about that and San Francisco existed longer than we thought? Well, would there be evidence of that? What could be evidence of that? What if there were people who were buried there before 1776?
That's true.
So if there was an older grave, well, that really wouldn't fit the new narrative that they were going to try to push.
Dude, that's exactly why they got rid of it.
So they had to get rid of these old headstones.
Now,
I don't know that, but I'm thinking, like, would that make sense that's why they would do something so disrespectful as to destroy mausoleums and headstones to make gutters and bulkheads with?
Dude, that's really interesting. I bet that's totally what it's connected to.
I mean, what else? I mean, like, again, how could you really justify that? Could you really think about it? It's some really old graveyard, at the very least. Is it as old as I think it could be? Maybe not. It's still really old. So unless your family had the money to like pay to move you to some different graveyard, they were just going to take that headstone and destroy it. There was no shortage of money back then because we know they built the craziest building. They rebuilt the city about 7 times within that same time period. They couldn't move all the plots to some place where it was more respectful of the families and the dead.
Dude, that just reminds me of like the it brings back the that shot time where they were like supposedly burying bodies when everybody was like getting and they were burying them on that one area near New York. And yeah, I can't talk about it. I guess we can't talk about it on the podcast.
Brian, you could try to like, leave this podcast off limits at the end. You know, maybe we'll just do one last video. This video, this might be moved to the spicy side because I just thought this is something we need to talk about, but this will probably get too hot for YouTube. So this might be the end of the show for YouTube.
Yep, that's it.
Well, on that note, check out the sponsor, Modern Roots Life, because yes, that will actually help maybe make you less dumb, make you more healthy. Click the link in the description. Again, guys, support the sponsors who are supporting this show. We appreciate you guys. Once again, check out Brian's links. Ancient Angels episode number 14 coming up. Check that out and be on the lookout for more podcasts from the two of us. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. God bless.
Later.
Everyone left me. Everyone deserted me. Jesus was always there. When everyone hated me and walked away, Jesus never walked away.